Hello and welcome to another session of Karen's Colours. I'm Dr. Karen and these are my colour conversations. The time has come for another monthly reading for all of you according to your birthday month. And this month I'm going to be working with the Healing Energy Oracle. This one is an oracle created by Duguay. He's an author and artist from Uruguay, I believe. Very interesting cards. But firstly, I'd like to welcome back those of you who have been following this series of videos. I certainly hope that you've learned a lot about how colour can influence your life and also how it has the ability to create all sorts of guidance as to how you can react and respond to the various issues that you are faced with throughout each month. I'm coming to you today from a very cold and chilly Australia, and so if I have to stop every now and then just to warm up, please excuse that. If you're new to this channel, you're very, very welcome to stay and learn something that you perhaps have not been exposed to before. I certainly hope that it is something that you will find of interest and maybe even come back. And if you are really interested, just hit that subscribe button. It doesn't hurt to have more people than my 35 subscribers hanging around. All right, so let's begin. Let's begin with an oracle card for people born in the month of February to accompany their colour reading for August 2025. Let's just choose, an oracle card. And take that and place it under here and look at it later on. All right, so now I need a colour reading for people born in the month of February to look at how August will transpire for them. A colour reading for people born in February. Right. So we begin with green on white. We move to green on brown, and then pink on brown, and the underlying energy is purple on green. Well, the first thing we note is that green appears 3 times. It appears in the action of the past and the action of the present, and also it appears as the underlying energy, as its goals and motivations. We also have brown appearing twice, both as goals and motivations, drivers for the present and also for the future. So what does that tell us? Well, whenever we have colours that are multiplied within a reading, it means that we need to pay particular attention to what those colours mean in terms of our activities and also of our motivations. And here, as the underlying energy, we have purple on green. Green internally, as the driver, means that we have got a need for an expansiveness, a need for giving out rather than taking in. There is a need here, a drive towards forgiveness, a drive towards overcoming guilt, a drive towards making things new and creating new things in the world. The purple in the real world as the activity means that there is a continual breakdown of what was and a recreation of something new. It is a healing energy. It's like ripping the Band-Aid off a sore and finding that there is healed skin underneath. Together, the purple and the green form what the tarot call the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups is all about expansive energy, but it's also loving energy. It's being able to give and to make things better. It's being able to share and to prevent things from becoming destroyed. It's being caring and loving, and at the same time, also being able to control a certain degree of that caring and loving. This combination is what is covering your entire month. There is this ability to be someone who is concerned for others, more so than concerned for the self. So how did that impinge upon the past for you? Well, here we have green on white. White internally is a clash with reality. It's a massive enlightenment. Something has woken you up in the past. And in the real world, you've discovered that the way to deal with that awakening is to find yourself new pastures, to head off in a different direction, to learn to live in a new way. Now here, the green as an internal issue is all about that desire for finding a new way of making things better for yourself. Here, it's the actual action of making that movement. And when we find that if we put that green from the real world and add it to the underlying energy of this internal world, then this Queen of Cups suddenly becomes the Wheel of Fortune. Something has happened in your past that has caused you to have a massive change in the way in which your life was working. It was shifting around, and in doing so, it has disrupted, that's what the purple here is about, it's disrupted the way things were before. White and green together form a very pale green, which means that as an underlying energy, you were looking for the ultimate in something new. You didn't just want a change. You didn't just want a new start. You wanted a total new start, an absolute new start. And that was so, the white and green together make it very difficult for you to have made that in the past. You have not been able to find that new start so easily, even though that massive change of fortune probably drove you towards it. Nevertheless, is that enlightenment that happened in the past, this sudden change that has occurred as a result of you being able to see things from a totally new perspective, has that in fact allowed you to make the changes that were necessary? Now here we have the green and purple in the real world, and once again, green and purple have that same combination, that same feeling as the Queen of Cups. There is this widening out, this broadening out of your energies in the real world. You've traveled in different directions, you've sought different experiences, you've done different things, and at the same time, you've allowed those things to come back as feelings of healing, but it's also given out changes and healing to others. So it's been a very calming and karmic past that's occurred here for you. What's happening in the now? Well, now it's got to the stage where suddenly those changes that have occurred here as a result of this Wheel of Fortune and Queen of Cups energy, now you have gone into this brown internal world. Your internal world is all about setting goals, making ambitions into reality, looking for a way of creating some sort of stability and permanence within your life. Brown is about trustworthiness. It's about seeking truth. It's about seeking something that you can rely upon forever. And in the real world, you're trying all sorts of different things that are coming your way. The green here that made you search for different pastures, here is allowing you to not only discover them, but also to experiment with them. Because unlike here, where the underlying energy was all white, where you didn't really know what you were looking for, here you have created some ambitions, you know exactly what you're looking for, and you are heading in that direction. Now, when we put brown and green together as the underlying energy, that is what tells me that you definitely know what you are searching for. You know how to attain it. You have discovered the skills and the attributes that are necessary to create the sort of values that you are going to then put into the real world. And what are those? Well, here we have the green and purple. Again, we have that Queen of Cups energy. This reading is all about you caring and sharing and doing things for others rather than necessarily for yourself. You're moving on. You've gone from a place in the past where things have changed quite dramatically, and now you're moving forward. And as you move forward, you're sharing what you have. You're moving stuff towards those that you feel needs it. You are helping those who are in need. You're generally being extremely sociable, but at the same time also extremely socialistic in the way in which you are looking after others. It's a really lovely reading till now. So where are we going in the future? Well, that same brown, that same ability to create something permanent, to almost... Look, the idea that I'm getting here is the establishment of some sort of trust in the real world. It's like you're creating a scholarship for someone, or putting your resources into some sort of permanent thing that will live on past you and allow others to gain from what it is that you have achieved here. Here, that same permanence is still being looked for, but now you're also looking for something for yourself as well. Pink in the real world means you're searching for love. You want something that comes back to you. So what you've given out here, you're asking the universe to give you some of it back. You're vulnerable to the ambitions that you have. You want to keep applying that those ambitions. You want to keep giving out like you have been here. One of the issues that you need to watch out for, though, is your energy is becoming dissipated. There is less and less and less of it. Pink is a diluted form of red, and red is absolute energy. Pink is a lack of energy. So your energy, your resources are starting to diminish. Now, add to that the underlying energy. We've still got this Queen of Cups type energy that exists here that is impinging upon these goals that you have. You still want to be a benefactor. In the real world, however, purple and pink are creating for you a conundrum. Do you have the energy to continue to make the changes in other people's lives that you started way back here? Do you have the energy to continue? And the answer here is probably, but also probably not. Dramatic changes cause you to feel vulnerable. Dramatic changes reduce your ability to do the things that you want to do. And even though the drive is still there to give and to make that giving permanent, the purple and pink are taking away some of the energy that you had when you were working in the here and now. So for the future, be a little careful. Sometimes pink and purple together indicate that there's going to be some sort of accident, illness, whatever, that causes you to have to stop doing what you were doing before because you've become vulnerable for a period of time. So let's look at what colours are missing, because that might give us an idea as to how you can move forward effectively. There's no black, but you do have white. There's no red or yellow, but you do have green. There's no blue. There's brown. You don't have any orange or grey, but you do have purple, and you have pink, but there's no cyan. That's there. These colours here are the ones which are active throughout the month of August for you. You're able to deal with these colours, with the energies that these envisage all the way throughout the month, and you're doing relatively well with them. When you have green and pink together in the same reading, there is love in abundance here. Purple and in the middle there tends to suggest, and you've got purple down here as your underlying energy, tends to suggest that caring and loving stuff is also about sharing, and that's a really lovely way of looking at it. The white and brown also tend to have positive connotations. So what is it that's missing? Well, you're not giving yourself any time out. You're not giving yourself time to recuperate, to get in touch with your own inner self and determine what is best for you. This is all outwards giving energy. What is best for you? That's what this pink here is asking. Red is about having an abundance of energy. Pink is a lack of that abundance. So here we have an inability for you to actually do all of the things that you want to do because the passions are reduced. Blue is about organization. It's about being orderly and organized to the extent where everything is in its place and the way it should be. There is no organization here. Green tends to scatter energy in whatever direction that happens to be impinging upon you in the immediate present. And in the past, that's been the case. And in the present now, it's actually the case. Coming into the future, though, that green is dissipating, but you still don't have any blue. You still haven't got to the stage where you are able to put a halt to things and stabilize them. Orange is all about confidence and courage and being able to overcome calamity and disaster. Grey is a need for finding truth and overcoming confusion and uncertainty. Yellow is all about learning new things, digesting information, and also learning how to be happy. And cyan is about both bliss and stagnation. Are you really 100% happy with everything or content with everything that has happened to you? Or are you needing time to simply stop and reflect? It's tied closely to the black and the blue here. So of these colours here, which is the most appealing and which is the least appealing? Because those two colours hold the key to why this Queen of Cups here will eventually lead you to a state of dissipated energy. If you add those two colours into your life, you'll find that they will change this, and you will end up somewhere where not only are your ambitions still as part of your driving force, but the energy that you have, the love that you have to give, will be better suited to the type of energies that you can give out, the type of ambitions that you're making, rather than back here where you are madly giving out, and not receiving anything back. This says, I have to have something for myself as well. So let's have a look at what the Oracle has to say about the subject. The calm. Breathe, live, and grow the light within yourself. Do one thing at a time and focus on the present moment. Cast off your doubts, all fear dissipates, and you can find peace in your being. Doing one thing at a time is what this is asking you to do. What can you do for yourself, rather than doing for everybody else. And while that might be a really lovely thing for the Queen of Cups to be doing, at the same time, it also reduces her ability to look after herself. And that's really something that you might consider for yourself in August. Well, it seems like August is going to be a very interesting month, don't you think? I hope you've received something out of it, out of these readings that have been of benefit to you. And I hope you'll be back for the next one in September. In the meantime, please do consider using some of the colours that are missing and enter them into your life, because when you do, you find things do move in a different direction to the ones that are normally signed off as being inevitable in the readings. Remember, it's all about your choices. I certainly hope to see you again, and may your life be filled with lots of colour. And until next time, may the colours that you do bring into your life bring you the sorts of things that you desire and deserve. Bye.